as Wilco makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello and welcome to part 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't remember. Now that I've done so many of these, and I've not had my dinner yet today, I realised I should have only organised 4 per day, and I think I've got 6 to do tomorrow. Anyway, that's a part-time podcaster's life for you. With me now to do the predictions is sunny Canada's finest import. It's Stan the Man. How you doing, Treacle?
I'm not bad at all, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's a lovely ironing board you've got behind you there.
It is. Thank you.
Are you a wizard on the ironing board?
I am actually. I'm actually one damn fine ironer, and that is because of my days in the army where they taught me to iron. It's probably the only thing that I've taken away. No good on the battlefield, but if I catch the enemy, I will press their clothes into oblivion.
Good. That's good to know. So if it all does kick off, you're not the one I need to save us.
No, I'm the one that you need to iron us.
Good. So when it kicks off and then we win, it'll be up to you to sort out the nice, crisp, clean uniforms.
Yeah.
That is lovely to see. Right, so we get this up, and then if people are wondering, all of these will be edited together at the end of every day. There, look, a human being has used the phrase "at the end of the day" correctly. That's quite a rare thing nowadays. I will edit them all together and release at the end of every day one podcast of all of the predictions done together for people that have missed them. Right, there we go. We get up the predictions and get these up on the screen, and look, we can move us down to the bottom stand, and then we can see all the previous predictions. First thing I do is confirm the Gooner's name is Stan, and his Twitter is @Stan_the_man68, and your podcast or blog is at Arsenal Circle and ABW. Is that correct?
It's at Arsenal Fan Circle, but I don't know.
That's the @ from their Twitter account.
Okay, yep, that is correct.
Good, because I have tweeted Elon. I said, "Oi, I want longer letters in my my @ for the podcast," and he blanked me. Stick his rocket right up his jacksie, as far as I'm concerned now. So the first one we need to hear from you, Stan, is who you think will be next season's Premier League champions and why.
I think this is a difficult one because both Arsenal and Man City have gotten rid of some important players. And it's not just one or two. We've seemed to have, between the two of us, have gotten rid of quite a clutch of players, which means that whoever comes in may have to take time to integrate themselves with the rest of the team. So maybe that will give us the edge over Man City. So I'm going to say that Arsenal will win the league.
Oh, you cheeky monkey. That's lovely. I mean, there's no coincidence that 3 out of 5 of us have gone for Arsenal to win the league and Man City to either be first or second. I think Mark.
You know why that is, though, don't you? Because this is an Arsenal podcast, and I would imagine that most of us have gone with our hearts over our heads.
Well, after you, I've got an Aston Villa coming on. Sebastian Bacon, who's a very, very. I mean, I can't believe he's so good at such a young age. He's better than we'll ever be. But he's coming up next at 10 o'clock, an Aston Villa fan, and we will see what he has to say. So my next question to you is pointless. Where will Arsenal finish? Because that's obviously first. So top goal scorer at Arsenal, all competitions.
I think that like yourself and the gentleman that you had on previous, I saw earlier, we're talking about Saka. And like you mentioned, he's been our top scorer for 2 seasons now. And I don't see his output diminishing. Maybe somebody like a Martinelli can get closer to him in the goal involvements because everybody will continue to improve. But I'm going to go with what you boys said as well. I think Saka for a 3rd season will be our highest scorer.
It is weird, isn't it? How many teams that are going to have a chance to win the Premier League, their top goal scorer isn't their forward? Man City, it's Haaland or Aguero. Liverpool, it was Salah. When he was before they moved him out wide. And then Chelsea, it's been whoever they had up front, Drogba.
No, Salah's always been out wide.
Huh?
Salah's probably the only one because he's always been out wide, hasn't he? It was Firmino in the middle with Mane on the other side. So he's probably the only one like Saka who's putting in the more input from the wings. But I'm going to stick with Saka. I think he can do it again.
You do that, and I'm with you all the way. Right, Spurs, where are they going to finish this season?
In hell, if I have anything to do with it. Well, they're going to lose. They're going to lose the Crayon Muncher, which is their biggest output to get any, to get goals and to win games, and it looks like that's going to happen. And they've got a terrible history of spending the copious amounts of money that they'll probably get for him. They'll bring in 6 players who'll all be crap. So I think they'll probably be struggling to get into the Champions League. So I'm going to say that they're going to finish, I would say maybe 7th or 8th.
Let's
go with 8th. 8th.
Lovely. So far, not looking like a very good season for the Scum. Right, FA Cup winner. So far, 4 answers, 4 different teams.
You see, there's only one way that Man City can go from here, and that's winning the quadruple. That's winning everything that there is to offer in England. But I think that what I mentioned earlier about them moving so many of their players on, it's not going to give them as much of a clean run. And I think Arsenal may get their 15th FA Cup.
And a double, our 3rd double, 4th double.
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
I'm going for it. We're going to get the FA Cup.
See, I had us down for the Premier League, the Champions League, and I thought I won't pick the FA Cup and the League Cup as well because no one can do that. But when you're as good as we are, and we are all as excited as kittens at the moment, and it's wonderful. So how about the League Cup? You're going to give us that as well?
No, I think City will get that.
Let them have a little bit of glory with the League Cup. Yeah. Fair enough. How about the Champions League? This is the big one.
Who's going to win the Champions League?
Yeah.
I think Real Madrid might win it.
Yeah, that's it's either been Real Madrid or Arsenal so far. But I think that is a bit too much of a push for Arsenal to be expected to win that in our first season back in after 6 seasons out?
I think if we can get out of the group stage of the Champions League, being our first time back in so long, I think that would be a good achievement to get out of the groups and then maybe get knocked out just after that. That would be a good showing. I'd be pleased with that.
It's definitely going to be interesting. Like Mike was saying, we've got probably the 5 best teams in Europe is Real Madrid, Man City, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, and PSG. I'm not sure I agree about PSG. I think they're perennial bottle jobs when it comes to the Champions League. But yeah, Bayern, I think we're at the same kind of level as Bayern, maybe a little bit below them. We're probably the 4th best team, which is amazing considering we haven't been in it for so long. Top Premier League player, top goal scorer, all competitions. So 3 have gone for Haaland, and Mike went for Nkunku of Chelsea.
Okay, I couldn't read that from here because I thought it said Nketiah. I was like, who put that there?
Yeah, even Nketiah wouldn't put that there. Even if he's playing it on FIFA, he would have no chance.
I don't see Haaland slowing down anytime soon. So I think that Haaland will continue to be the Premier League's highest goal scorer.
Do you think he'll bang 50 plus like he did last season, or get close to 50? Did he get 50 last season? I can't remember.
I can't remember what he got in all competitions. I remember he got something like 38 in the league, didn't he? But I think in all competitions that he could do it. I mean, he smashed it in his first season. I mean, where else is there for him to go? He's not the sort of player that I think he's going to drop off. He's just going to continue to get better.
Do you know where he was born?
Do I know where he was born?
Yeah.
Was he born in Leeds?
He certainly was. He's only 23 years old. Yes, his dad was there. Last season, all competitions, 52 goals in 53 games.
Wow.
That was a wow in unison there. It's just bloody horrible. I don't like it. So we're agreeing with everyone else. All right. Championship winner. We've had 2 for Southampton, 1 Leicester, 1 Sunderland so far.
Yeah, I think Southampton are probably the ones that haven't lost as many players. So they've probably got to do less reorganising and can probably get out of there in the top spot on the first run. Maybe some of the others went down, could come up as well. But I think Southampton maybe have the better chance just because they've managed to keep most of their players together. Maybe they're going to lose Lavia.
Did they keep their manager? Did they sack their manager that they had last season? I can't remember.
Who was it that came in? Who came in after Hasenhüttl? Who was it that came in there?
I've got no idea. I'm just looking now.
I can't remember either. I can't remember who came in after him.
Manager is currently Russell Martin.
Okay.
And he has been since 2023. Oh, is the ex? Isn't he Alvin Martin's son? No, he can't.
I don't know.
That'd be interesting. No, I don't know. He has been manager since he's not played a game for them yet. So whoever was their manager has gone, who was with them last season as they got relegated. So it doesn't say here who is taking over from. Sadly.
Maybe they put in. Maybe they had a caretaker in between.
Possibly.
You know what I mean? And now they've gone down. They've appointed this chap.
Ruben Selles was the outgoing manager of Southampton, and he was caretaker. Then he took over. He had 17 games as manager and lost 11 of them, won 11%. So he was there from February till May. Yeah, so sacked him, got a new manager for the promotion campaign, and there you go. That's the answer. Right, let's have a little look at who you think is going to be the first manager to be fired, not quit or leave, but actually told, get out of our club, you toilet.
I got a feeling maybe David Moyes, because he was really on the edge last season. He was on the precipice, I think, of getting released. And a lot of the West Ham fans weren't happy with him. And he only managed to salvage it, I think, because of the the Europa Conference League that they won. But I don't think it's going to get any easier for him, especially now that he's lost a couple of players. And they're going to have to spend wisely to replace those players. So I think maybe David Moyes. See, I can't see my big face on the screen, and that lulled me into a false sense of security, and that's why I just picked my nose live and air, in case you missed it, or in case you saw it.
I didn't see it.
But I got too comfortable there. I think, David
Moyes. You did you?
No, I didn't do that. I just rolled it up and put it under my desk. I'm saving it for later.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, so that's some good answers there. If, so far we had no one's agreed on what manager is going to be the first one to go. The consensus of opinion is the Championship is Southampton, Haaland for the top goal scorer, Real Madrid for the Champions League. I think, although I've said Arsenal, I don't really think we will. The League Cup, anybody. FA Cup, anybody. Spurs knackered. There's an average position of about 8th or 9th. Top goal scorer Saka, and Arsenal first or second. It seems to be that we're much of a muchness. I am going to try and get on some fans of other teams. We've got Sebastian, the Villa fan, coming on. Might try and get some. I know a Chelsea fan. Might get Dean to come on, who's an Everton fan. I can close this window now, can't I?
You should get Mr. Tom. Why don't you get Mr. Tom to come on? He's a Leeds fan.
Who's Mr. Tom?
You don't know Mr. Tom? He comes on the. He's the main host of the wrestling podcast.
On the stoop.
That I pop on. He's on the stoop every week with Lolo and does the betting tips. And he always is. He's like a wingman for Gary on DWTT. Don't waste the trip.
And Gary's going to be coming on here if he can sort out a time. Yeah, ask him if he wants to come on. Tell him I only need 15-20 minutes of his time, and tell him to tweet me. And then if he wants to come on, we'll get him on. Is he American?
No, he lives in Kentish Town. He's London, but he's a Leeds supporter. Fan. Yeah, I can't remember the reason why, but he appears on a lot of Arsenal. I think he's really a closet Arsenal fan because he's on multiple Arsenal podcasts.
I think secretly most of them wish they were, because he can't have had much glory being a Leeds fan for all these years. Right, Stan, I think that is us. We are done. You can go back to work now. If people want to find you on Twitter, or if they want to buy some of your top quality schmutter,
Yes.
I think that means stuff. Where can they go?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Stan_the_man68. You can also find me on the Arsenal Fan Circle, which is every Thursday and every Tuesday. And if you want to pick up some retro mugs, mouse mats, baseball caps, and Arsenal-related gear as well, you can find that at the Gooner Shack, which is on Etsy.
Good. And are you looking forward to the new season and doing preview games and post-game shows and maybe even your podcast of ABW?
I really am. Just going to be really depending on what work I'm doing at the time. Because if I'm doing shift work, it may mean that I'm not going to be able to get up as early to watch the games. But I'm sure that I'll be popping on at some point next season with yourself and also Deke as well, who's been doing a sterling job on some of the post-match shows that I've been watching. So I'm looking forward to getting back in the saddle with you guys next season.
It is going to be a hell of a time, and it's going to be. This is the most excited I've been since the season after the Invincibles, when we thought we're going to go on and dominate the world, and then someone set fire to it and threw it out our door as a bag of poop. Anyway, thank you very much, Stan. You've been delightful. Wave goodbye to the boys and girls as I press the button to end the show.
Goodbye boys and girls.
We'll see you at 10 p.m. with Sebastian, the Aston Villa fan. Goodbye.
As soon as I scored that goal, I was fucking livid. Get down, dog. Splendid business.
He nearly caught the bloody thing. What are you talking about?
So I was just eating a full quiche. Well, you don't often see them at it. So when you see them in the supermarket, they need to be swagged, microwaved immediately and get the brown sauce on and bosh, Bob's your uncle.